Today's video is going to be the first episode in what I hope will be a recurring series on the channel. That is, if you guys enjoy it. So if you like this, if you have fun during this video, definitely let me know in the comments and I will continue to make episodes. If you hate it, also let me know so that I never do this again. It was a terrible idea to begin with. I should have never even posted this episode. But the goal of today's video is to take a look at this chess match played between a Grandmaster and a FIDE Candidate Master. I'm not 100% sure what the distinction between those two is aside from their ELO rating. If you know what that is, definitely let me know. But this is a Grandmaster and a FIDE Candidate Master, some of the best players in the world playing a bullet chess match. But the reason I picked this game is not because some of the best players in the world are duking it out. The reason I picked this game is because there are 4 blunders in this chess match. And I want to look at and analyze blunders made by Grandmasters so that you, as probably not a Grandmaster player, can see that these mistakes do happen. Even the best players in the world make mistakes like this. And these mistakes can be so minute, little things that you would never think would be considered a blunder, but are actually detrimental to your game. That's the goal of this, to have a look at how small decisions and small things can drastically change the outcome of a chess game. So again, if you enjoy it, definitely let me know in the comments. Let's jump into this actual match. And when we get to the point where the blunders happen, we will stop, pause, take a little bit of a deeper look at why that is a blunder. And maybe we can deduce what the Grandmaster or the Candidate Master was thinking in that situation when they made the wrong move. So let's actually start this chess match and have a look at what happened. Berserk opens up with the B3 opening, and in response, the Silmarils, I don't know how to say this guy's name. We'll say the Grandmaster versus the Candidate Master. The Grandmaster responds with a D6 move, and a lot of these are going to be book openings. I don't know what these openings are, but these guys, again, they've studied for years. They're incredible at the game, and so all of these opening moves are going to be book moves. This is an inaccuracy. This is probably something that the Candidate Master has practiced before against this opening. So even though it's an inaccuracy, I'm going to let a lot of these things slide because the game for the first half, the first like 20 moves, is pretty even. So we get a take, captures, it's an equal trade, there's a take here, and then a push up by the pawn instead of taking with the knight, because obviously the queen would respond with that, the pawn would be blocking, and so it would actually be really bad. You'd end up losing your knight to the queen, and the queen gets center board control. We now have the Candidate Master moving his knight out, and a lot of these moves are going to be the best moves or excellent moves the first half of this game here as well. So we're stopping the bishop attack on the king with a pawn moving forward. Bishop retreats. This move here actually would have been really nice to see. The black queen putting the king into check again. You could maybe have a response like this. There's a few things that you could do. Again, I don't want to focus too much on the beginning of this match because everything is going to be a good, excellent, or even a great move like castling here. So both kings are now castled. There's a lot of pressure happening on this back rank with the queen, with the knights putting a lot of pressure to the middle of the board. And this knight, it's a bit of an accuracy, not the best idea according to the engine, because now the rook is going to move over, kind of pinning that knight to this rook. So if you move, you're going to lose your rook. Not a great position to be in. Knight takes, this is the best move, stops the opponent from being able to tactically win a pawn. Very nice. The knight takes back. Take, 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 take. Lots of the best moves happening here, okay? The computers would be doing all of the same things, and that's fine and dandy, but we are closing in on one of the first blunders of the match. So it's a take, it's a take. Again, these are all the best moves. Some of these moves are very obvious, even to me. Other moves are not, especially trading pieces. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't want to trade pieces ever. Never touch my chess piece. I don't like it. This moves back. Again, another inaccuracy. We've got a few more moves here. We are on move 21. And this is, like I said, a bullet game. They've only used up 20 seconds of their time. This was a bullet game. I think it's a 1-2 or something like that. They get 2 seconds every time they make a move. So if they're making quick moves here, and again, all of these are like the best moves, which is insane, they're getting a little bit of time back on the timer. So that's why we're at move 22 right now. Another best move with the pawn, putting some pressure on that knight. The knight retreats, putting pressure on this pawn that's now hanging. He moves up, pawn takes. Now this is the first blunder, and this permits the opponent to win a pawn through a fork. So we can actually have a look with chess.com what this fork would look like, which would be the queen, oh, sometimes it moves way too fast. Okay, the queen was originally up here. Oh, here, it's gonna let us actually see that. Was this, wait, show the fork. Oh, he actually did it. Okay, that's why I was confused. So this actually happened in the match. And so the fork, after moving this up, queen puts a fork on this pawn and on this pawn. So regardless of where the queen moves, there's pressure on 2 pawns, you get a fork, you're gonna be winning some material, so that's pretty good. And the Grandmaster actually spots this in the moment, which we would expect from somebody who's a Grandmaster capitalizing on a bit of a mistake. The queen then moves completely out of the way. Again, a mistake, it overlooks an opportunity to defend a pawn that was under attack. And so the Grandmaster capitalizes, of course, taking some more material, taking that material advantage. The bishop decides to move. Obviously, you don't want to be losing your bishop to something dumb like that. Grandmaster is putting some pressure on the queen now. The queen is retreating, moving further away. And I do think that obviously moving the queen a little bit closer here probably was a better idea. You're just going to be putting some pressure on this knight so that if the queen does move, you're able to get that piece for free. You're kind of pinning the queen inadvertently to that knight. Now, the rest of the game is a slow bleed for white. For the FIDE candidate master, it's a little bit of a slow bleed. We're losing a lot of the momentum. It was pretty even for the majority of the game, but you can see that as the game progresses, black is healthily winning over here. So putting the king into check, the king is moving away, moving the king up, the queen up here, which is putting some more pressure on some of the other pieces. Obviously, I don't have to explain this to you. You guys have eyeballs, right? There's pressure, there's things happening. There's a bunch of pieces have been traded, and we are getting closer to the end of this chess match, which is actually crazy to think that we're a little less than halfway through and we're at move 31. That's insane. This is a game that was supposed to last 1 minute, but we're on move 31 because they're making such quick and precise moves. We've got a bit of a fork here from the black knight. Little bit of pressure over here, does not take, and the engine actually does say that taking here would have been better. Now obviously it's protected twice, but the queen taking is not going to take this pawn afterwards. The knight taking is not going to be putting any pressure on anything else, so sacrificing your knight for the bishop actually does seem pretty good to me. If I was in this position, obviously with my gigabrain energy, I would have taken the bishop with the knight here. This knight moves in and is now putting some pressure on both the pawn and the queen, but we're doing this mostly to put some pressure on the queen, forcing him to move. He does move into the best position. Bishop retreats. Dark bishop comes over here, is pinning the knight to the queen. Sorry, my nose got very itchy. We're closing in on the next set of blunders here, okay? So lots of good moves by both black and white. Good moves, excellent moves, great moves. We've got this like bulk of dark pieces very close to the center of the board. Kind of strange to see, if I'm being honest. Knight putting some pressure on here, also protected by the pawn. We love to see that. Queen making the best move, taking the free pawn that they were pressuring. And instead of protecting the king over here with the bishop, which is going to possibly result in a forced move, a kind of a wasted move if you're black in this position, does move up, which again, strong play, trying to move these pawns. This is putting a fork on the king. And here, I think in this position, I would want to move the bishop so you protect the king, and if queen takes, you get to take. Am I correct? I'm not correct. So this is going to result in the free pawn being taken. Okay, very good. Next move is just kind of prepping the queen to make an attack. And this next move here is going to be a blunder. So in this position, we can see that it's almost an absolute win for black, and a single pawn move to put pressure on a queen that is protected is a blunder. Knight is protected by queen. This pawn is protected, but this is a blunder. Why is this a blunder? Because this allows the opponent to capture a knight and win material after the follow-up trade. So we can actually show this tactic. I don't believe that this is what happened in the match. Queen takes, queen trades, bishop takes, and now you are in a position where it's kind of even. It's pretty even. I don't know if in this position the evaluation bar is actually showing us what this evaluation would be, but you do now have no queens, right? So your game gets a little bit easier. It's almost even here. The only advantage is now a single pawn for black, and the black bishop is kind of out of position. You're not really going to be doing anything. You've got to move up and over to even start attacking one of the other pawns that are back here. So what actually ends up happening is, instead of trading the queen, a second blunder, 2 blunders by the Grandmaster, basically back to back, pushing with the pawn, allowing for this trade. And again, this is a great trade because of the bishop protecting the queen, and the Grandmaster, instead of taking, which would have been the better position, even though you're losing your queen, even though it's not a great trade, this is worse because this allows white to play checkmate. This move right here could have lost the Grandmaster, who has almost a 200 deficit of elo. Is that the right word? The Grandmaster has a rating of 200 elo points higher than the Candidate Master, and the next move could have been checkmate. All white needed to do here was take the pawn on g7, and that's checkmate. There's no way for the Grandmaster to retaliate because of this blunder right here. We are at 42 moves deep, playing some of the best chess that these guys have ever played in their lives, and a single move like this could have cost them the game. Thankfully for black, that didn't happen. The queen decides to move over here, I guess opening up the threat of bishop onto pawn, maybe something over here. Maybe the idea is to move the bishop back to c1 and do something kind of similar, even though this pawn is protecting. I don't know what the Candidate Master was thinking in this position, but this is crazy that we still have like another 15 moves after this, or something, like maybe even another 20 moves. That's a mistake. Another bit of an inaccuracy here at the end game. Moving up, protecting the bishop with the queen, putting pressure on that pawn still. We're moving up. There's actually one more blunder later in this game. So you can see that we're back to about even in this position. This is a great move by black, kind of offering up the pawn. Moving the white pawn closer to getting some sort of a promotion is also good for white. This is a forced check that the king can't take. If queen takes, it's a queen trade, which would probably be better in this position for black. That's a take. Over here, we are now in a position where white is back into like almost winning, not completely winning, but the game is close to equal. But now black is in a losing position because of this follow-up. You move up, queen comes in to defend, moves over here. I don't really understand some of these engine moves. I'll be honest, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Why in this position would you like oh, I guess because it's protected by bishop. Okay, I'm dumb. Don't pay attention to what I'm saying. This is an inaccuracy, and now white has basically flipped the playbook, and the Candidate Master is beating the Grandmaster again. Moves up here, moves down. Oh, I need to hide the follow-up. None of that actually happened in the game. This is a great move. Passed pawn. Bishop now moves up. Pawn threatens, which is a little bit interesting because you have to like block yourself or move completely out of the way, and the bishop is here. But there is a take, and now a take, which is actually so crazy to know that this is the best move in this position. I don't think I would have seen the battery here. I would have taken and lost my queen. So it's actually very impressive that with 1 second left, 8 seconds left, I guess, for the Grandmaster, that they are spawning these traps and these batteries and not making those poor decisions like I would. This is another best position, putting some pressure on that pawn again. This is a good position. We're just kind of following up the structure. Black is at a huge disadvantage now. This is like a 90% winning game for white in this position. Putting some pressure on the queen. Queen moves over again, moving the bishop down. Queen is moving over. We're just keeping it nice and tight around the king. And this next move here is what is going to lose the game for the Candidate Master, okay? This move right here loses a queen, overlooks an opportunity to capture a vulnerable queen. So right here, after this move, bishop can take queen, and you now, even if the pawn takes, if the king takes, whatever it is, you now have a queen and 2 pawns against a king and either 2 or 3 pawns. Not a great position to be in as a Grandmaster, but putting some pressure on the queen, hanging your queen, it's a take, moves over here, and this guy times out, but it would have been a losing game regardless. Guys, this was exciting. This is fun to watch some of the best players in the world not only play some of the best chess that I've ever seen in my life, but making mistakes and humanizing them and seeing that, you know, even the best players in the world, when they're playing under pressure, they make blunders. These people are human beings. Please let me know if you enjoyed this. If you like seeing high-level players make mistakes, but in a fun, educational, and exciting way, I would love to refine this series. And if you've got any games that you've seen, that you've played, where you've noticed any big blunders happening that you'd like me to take a look at, share them with me in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Again, I would really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this series and you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe. I upload a new chess video every single day here. If you liked this video in particular, drop a like on it. It will help me know if I should keep doing these or if I should do something else, something completely different. I also quickly want to say that there is no shade to the Grandmaster or the Candidate Master in this video. I simply went to the watch tab on chess.com and picked one of the most recent matches that I saw there. Again, no disrespect, no shade to these guys. They are incredible, better than I will ever be at chess. I hope that this could be educational and fun to watch. With all that out of the way, I appreciate you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.